Okay, for those of you that don't know or have never seen one, this is a Weaver Creaser. I bought a machine from a guy that had this laying under a bench, and I bought it too. So I had only ever seen these years ago. I know Randall makes a creaser, multi-width creaser like this, very similar, and they've made that since like the late 1800s. The Weaver one is a little bit rare, I guess, because I figured I would buy it. It wasn't on the table, it was just by itself. But I really figured that there'd be plenty of videos out there showing how to get it set up. It came with the foot pedal and all that, but really no idea, how to set it up. And there's absolutely not one video that I have been able to find, unless I'm searching, with the wrong criteria, but I can't find anything on this. I even contacted Weaver by phone and by email, and they finally got back to me, I don't know, 10 or 12 days later by email telling me that they have not made this since 2016, and they have no parts available, no paperwork available, no owner's manual, no nothing. So it is a unique piece, fairly rare, and I'm excited about it. So basically it's the typical creaser where the rolls that are in there now are the single line creaser, for various widths of whatever strapping you want to put through there. The guy that I bought it from bought it brand new. I couldn't remember the year, and he also had the other three rollers. So there's another bottom roller, which has a domed thing that it goes with this one right here. This one you can put in place of this top roller here, and it is a double line. I don't know if you can see that, but it puts two lines on each side of the strap as it runs through there. So it took a little bit of figuring out. I found the Shopfox table on Marketplace locally for 25 bucks and built it up to where this was, at a good working height. I put the hand wheel off the edge so that I do run a motor on it. I can mount it on that little shelf that I built underneath, and put a foot switch down there to power it. But for now, just going to use the hand crank and go on over. So the foot pedal down there is to lift the top rail up so that you can get your strap in there and then let go, and then it keeps pressure from these springs down on the leather so that as it goes through there, it impresses those marks in there. So it does leave nice little creases in there. So basically the Shopfox tabletop, this is actually MDF. That's I didn't realize it was such a crappy piece until I started drilling holes in it, realized I was getting MDF shavings out of it. So but anyhow, 5.5 inch or regular 2x6 frame underneath just to raise this up to height. I put this on blocks again to get it higher off the table, and so that I could move these blocks that were mounted up here on the top side and move them down so that the cable, I don't know if you can see it, but the cable is frayed that was in there, and so I moved it down some to where the fray wasn't actually hitting where the wheel was. But mainly I did that so that the hand wheel would be off of the table edge, and I could more center the thing, the entire piece, on the table itself. So I put a foot pedal brace across the back, cut a slot in that center board for the for the cable for the foot pedal. Basically that comes up under here and it wides off into two cables. One comes up this way, one comes up that way, and they pull down as you step on the pedal to raise the top roller up. So excuse me, so pretty simple build. not super complicated. However, it did take some, some thinking about it, and not having any plans or any other videos to go by on how these were mounted. This is just what I came up with. So I do still intend to build a roller frame for a roller cart for the bottom, because this thing is ungodly heavy now, and way too heavy to be just dragging across the shop floor. So so I don't know if you can see the serial number there, but that's what it is. If you have one like this, they're fairly simple. They're very well made. They're heavy. It's made right there in Berlin, Ohio, or was. But I was able to get the hand wheel off. There's just one center bolt here. It's a T30 Torx bolt. Same thing for that screw right there to get these off, and then you can grease your gears in there. But everything's worked out really well. The table is super stable. I'm not necessarily a fan of the angled legs on it, but it does make it super stable because of that. So like I said, I just took the tabletop that was on here from the get-go and built this frame, and then put this tabletop back on top of it. I'll replace this eventually, and I'll probably use more decking boards for it, but I'm going to put a drawer in here, and because this really doesn't, all it's doing is spacing this thing up higher so I can use it at a standing height. So I've got a few. Now, to be honest with you, I have never used this. It's been in my shop for probably of course that one's cut wrong. It's been in my shop for probably 4 or 5 months, and I also bought a Cobra sewing machine from this guy, and it's worked fantastic. So sorry, my hand was in the way there. So basically, you figure out which one it fits in, get on the foot pedal, raise it up enough to get it in there, and you should be able to hand crank this through. Oop, missed it. And what you get is a beaded belt. Now, like I said, the other roller that goes in the top there puts 2 lines on each side, and you could use one for a stitch line and one for a decorative line, or both of them for decorative. This is the perfect stitch line if you wanted to use it, or this could be the finished product if you're not using something for strength, maybe dog collars or something like that, decorative belts, children's belts, things like that could easily not need a liner sewn to them, and you could use just a single like that. So super happy with it. Let's see, I've got another one. That piece is about 6 ounce, I think. This one is let's see if that'll work. Sorry for the one-handed thing here. I don't know where my tripod is at the moment. So it was a little wide also. So these were scraps that I had in the leather shop, so they are by no means finished dimensions. So normally when I'm cutting these, I'm only I'm making like firefighter suspenders or something like that. So okay. Again, sorry for the shaky hand there, but so same deal. Puts a nice crease. Now I did wet these just now before I came out here. I didn't even stick them in one to see if they were measured right, but they have been wetted. I haven't tried these dry yet. I'll probably try that, maybe make another video. But super neat tool. Back in the day, the guy couldn't remember what he paid for this back in the day, but he bought this and the 3 extra rollers, and that he bought a clicker press, an 8-ton clicker press, and several clicker dies at Weaver, all on the same day. But he thinks that this was around $3,300 or $3,400 total. I didn't give near that for it, but it's going to be an interesting piece for sure to add to the shop, and it would be mobile enough I can take with me to vendor fairs and things like that to do these types of things right there on site if that's what the person wanted. The neat thing about that one is the bottom roller puts a dome in this center part right here, and you can then use that cork filler or whatever on the inside to give this a raised up domed effect, and kind of a throwback to the old days. So neat piece. The hand wheel does have a V-groove cut in it, a V-groove cut in it for a belt. Again, that's why I hung this off the edge, so I could run a motor if I decide to. It might be easier to have 2 hands to be able to feed the straps through there, and just using the foot pedal to operate the the rotation. So if you have one of these, I'd be glad to show you how I did this. Like I said, it wasn't any kind of engineering masterpiece, but I did drill through the blocks in the back and through the tabletop just to give that cable a clear path down to the bottom where it turns into one cable. Those cables obviously need to be replaced, but evidently Weaver used some proprietary end inside this cap right here that I cannot find with normal swaging tools. So I'll have to figure that part out. This will work without these caps on there, and so I'll end up probably having a friend of mine make some that I can swage onto new cable and then redo that, because I'm sure this is going to break eventually, as rough as it is. This guy had it mounted on a metal table or a toolbox or something, and it was fraying that cable every time, I think. But all right, well, that's all I had. I just wanted to put a video out there so people can see the machine and the process, and I'll once I get these other rollers on the lathe and get them cleaned up, I'll run a few through there after I get those mounted in there and see what the differences are. So all right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just get with me, let me know. I'll try to answer them quick as I can. But again, this is the Weaver Creaser. I don't even know what they called it back in the day, but they recognized that serial number when I called them. But they said they just haven't made that thing for for over 10 years now. So all right, hopefully I didn't just buy a boat anchor. I've got a lot of money tied into it for a boat anchor, but if it does this kind of stuff here just for belts and straps and collars and things like that, it'll be worth the investment. So all right, thanks again. You guys have a good day.